With the new Supergirl movie on the horizon, I thought that I'd go back and take a look at one of my favorite adaptations of Supergirl, and that is the Supergirl from Superman, the animated series. And what better episodes to look at than Supergirl's debut? Part 1 starts with Superman flying through space in his Star Labs spacecraft. With the help of Star Labs, he has finally been able to track the trajectory of his spaceship when he first came from Krypton, and he is trying to see if there are any remaining survivors. At first, it just looks like it is an asteroid belt of kryptonite, as Krypton has definitely been wiped out, but then his equipment starts to pick up a transmission. I always think that it's kind of weird for Superman in this series that anytime he went to space, he would wear a space suit. Also, he would fly one of these spaceships. I just always feel like Superman doesn't need this stuff, but I guess in this case it makes sense story-wise that the equipment on this spaceship helps detect the distress signal. He finds this mysterious planet really close to Krypton that has been completely wiped out of civilization due to some sort of ice catastrophe. He lands his ship and starts walking into one of these ice caves. I also think that it's kind of weird that his spacesuit has these rocket boosters, like, bro can fly. Why does he need these? Anyway, he finds this laboratory that's kind of reminiscent of the Batcave in a way, and he stumbles on this transmission of a woman explaining how this planet came to be. When Krypton was destroyed, the shockwave was so massive that it sent this planet out of its orbit and away from the sun, causing this ice age. It killed the entire population of this planet, and the woman making this transmission kept these safety pods in hopes to keep her and her family alive. However, her plan failed, and over the years, her family died in these pods, except for one. And this is when Superman meets Kara for the first time. We then cut to the Kent farm where Kara is having a blast enjoying her new powers, soaking up this yellow sun radiation and just flying over the farmland. But her older cousin Clark is not having it. He instills in her that she needs to maintain a secret identity and she can't be flying around in the daylight. Ma and Pa Kent have been taking care of her for some time now, but Kara feels so trapped on this small, boring farm. She wants to explore, she wants to try out her new powers. But Clark, being the older protective cousin that he is telling her to chill out. They're all having breakfast together and she is very interested in Intergang, a powerful crime organization that uses weapons from Apocalypse. Kara is very excited to hear this, and you can tell by the look on her face that she is scheming on something. Cut to Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen back in Metropolis, and they are tasked to report on a boring story at some tech convention that Lois isn't really happy about. Jimmy keeps bugging her about wanting to write his own stories and asking her for advice, and she says this.
First rule of reporting, kid. Never count on breaks. You want a story? Go get one.
Which he will not take lightly later on, but in the moment, those words don't carry as much merit as they should as two members of Intergang burst through the window and attempt a robbery. I couldn't help but notice two things with these characters. The first thing is that the male member of Intergang is played by the voice actor who played Robin in the Teen Titans show.
You see, Metropolis, nobody can beat Intergang. Nobody!
I feel like he has such a recognizable voice that that's all I hear no matter what character he plays. The second thing I notice is that the female character looks exactly like Dana, Terry McGinnis's girlfriend in Batman Beyond. Now, I don't know if this is a coincidence or a reused design, but yeah, just something I noticed. Anyway, these Intergang criminals are trying to steal a crate of tech from this convention, but are thwarted by Superman himself. Now, Superman, in these two episodes at least, gets bitched a lot. Both of these criminals obviously have technology from Apocalypse. One has an ice gun and one has a flame gun, and both of these give Superman a lot of trouble. Both of them at the same time completely immobilize him, and honestly, the ice gun almost completely stops him too. Also, when the criminals try to escape, one of them hurls the crate at Superman and it totally knocks him down. Like, how does a crate take down Superman like that? I don't know. And this won't be the first time in these two episodes that Superman just gets dog walked. During the fight, one of them drops this arcade token which Jimmy Olsen picks up, which will become relevant later in this story. The teens end up making their escape because they use Lois as a hostage, and they use their technology to send her hurling in the sky, so Superman has to save her while they escape. They escape back to this warehouse full of a bunch of other teens, and it's revealed that the person that they're working for is none other than Granny Goodness. Meanwhile, at the Bugle, a disguised Kara shows up at Clark's desk, wanting to help with Intergang, but Clark is not having it. He tells her to wait back at his apartment until he arrives, but she's not going for that. She overhears Jimmy talking about Intergang, and she decides to team up with him.
Can I join you?
They start going from arcade to arcade, hoping that they can match the token Jimmy found to whichever arcade that it belongs to. And maybe if they find the arcade, they can find their hideout. This is Jimmy really trying to show initiative as he's trying to be a better reporter and to really chase the story, just like Lois said. Kara is eager to help because she wants to be just like Superman. Two teenagers both having something to prove to their adult mentors. They find where the arcade is located because Kara sees the criminals from earlier and they're hiding gigantic weapons underneath their trench coats. They follow one back to the warehouse and try to sneak in, but are immediately caught. Jimmy, thinking fast on his feet, acts like they're teenagers who want to join their cause. But it doesn't take long for Kara to pretty much completely blow their cover and tries to tell the other teens that they're being manipulated. Granny Goodness is not having this backtalk from these kids, and Kara isn't taking any punishment from Granny Goodness, which is when she then reveals that she is Supergirl.
I don't believe it. A super girl?
Believe it.
Now, it's important to note that she wasn't in her disguise from earlier,
It's me, Kara.
I know.
You saw through my secret identity?
so she'll be able to use that as her secret identity later. But just when Granny has had enough, she calls in the cavalry, aka the Furies of Apocalypse. And that is where episode 1 ends. Episode 2 picks up right where episode 1 leaves off, and it's the three Furies versus Supergirl. And Supergirl is actually doing pretty well. She's at least holding her own. The other teams start to scatter because they're not ready for this, and Jimmy Olsen tries to get some of them to help out Supergirl. They all scatter and leave except for one, the female criminal from earlier, which for the sake of simplicity, I'm just gonna call Dana. Supergirl and the Furies are causing a lot of ruckus within the city of Metropolis, so much so that they can hear it back from the Daily Planet. Superman shows up to help, but quickly gets bitched again by some electricity from the Furies. He gets knocked out and taken prisoner back to Apocalypse. And as he's getting tortured, Supergirl, Jimmy Olsen, and Dana are trying to find a way back to Apocalypse when Supergirl finds a mother box. Supergirl travels to Apocalypse alone to try to find Superman, while Jimmy and Dana further investigate this warehouse. Dana's trying to make up for her mistakes from before, so she willingly drops the bomb that there's this secret room that no one's ever been in, and when her and Jimmy investigate this room, they find this giant mechanism pointing at the sky. Supergirl, after fighting and fleeing parademons, finally sees Superman. He's being taken to meet with Darkseid. Superman and Darkseid have met in a previous episode, and Darkseid is reminded by Superman that he can't go back to Earth or destroy it or do anything because that will break the peace treaty that he has with New Genesis. This is when Darkseid reveals his sadistic plan. The giant mechanism that Jimmy and Dana saw back on Earth is basically a giant magnet that is going to act like a tractor beam to this passing comet that's not even in the trajectory of Earth, but this machine is going to pull the comet towards Earth, destroying the entire planet, making it look like Darkseid didn't have a hand in this at all. As he's saying this, the machine turns on and Jimmy and Dana have no idea how to stop it. The comet's trajectory is changed, so it is now headed towards Earth. Kara hears all of this and pulls up to confront Darkseid, and Darkseid's like,
Hey yo, what the fuck?
he omega beams her and has the Furies finish her off. But plot twist, Supergirl actually takes them all out. Superman is still bitched this entire time as he has not been able to escape from his restrictions. Supergirl has to take out all of the Furies and free Superman. And once that happens, Superman is like, yo, we are out. They boom back to Earth, right back where Dana and Jimmy are. They see the machine that Darkseid was talking about, And before anybody can make a move, Supergirl flies to the machine and destroys it, which maybe wasn't the best idea.
Now what'd I do wrong?
I might have been able to use the magnet to repel the comet back into space.
Oops.
So I guess it's time for Superman to finally start Supermaning. He has to fly and stop the comet the hard way. As he's doing this, a huge chunk of the meteor splits off, and it's up to Supergirl to stop it from hitting the Earth. She flies into it head on and completely destroys the comet before it hits Metropolis. Superman gets rid of his end of the meteor and saves Kara as she's knocked unconscious from the impact of the comet. Cut back to Apocalypse, and Darkseid sees that the crisis has been averted, which means that it's time for Granny to get her punishment. And the episode ends with Jimmy getting his front page article about Supergirl stopping Intergang. He gets some encouraging words from his coworkers. Supergirl is now at least a part-time hero of Metropolis, and Clark tells Jimmy that he wants him to meet his cousin. And that is the end of Supergirl's debut in Superman the Animated Series. Overall, I am a huge fan of the show, and I really like these 2 Supergirl episodes. I know I was complaining earlier about how weak they made Superman in these episodes, but it's a classic approach that these types of stories do, where they lessen a very powerful character to make another character outshine them. And honestly, for this sake, I'm totally okay with that. Supergirl goes on to develop and grow a lot more as a character and becomes a much bigger part of the DCAU, which I can definitely appreciate. But what do you think about this version of Supergirl? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you made it this far, comment ginger snaps so I know that you're a real one.
No, it doesn't end that easily, my little ginger snap.
If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like. It would really help me and my channel out a lot. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I'll see you in the next one.